Hello everyone and welcome to Now, where we're going to talk about Lisbon now. Today we've got someone from the yes, well, someone who voted yes and someone who voted no, just talking about, why they did and the effects they think it's going to have, on the world, because we've just had our second referendum and it was passed, with 67% versus, 32.9 or something like that. So first I'm going to introduce the man on the no side, Mr. Tony McDonagh, who we have through Skype. How you doing, Tony?
Good afternoon, guys. How are you doing?
It's good to have you here. Could you just tell us a bit about why you voted no?
Basically, I voted no, apart from the actual discrepancies which I see and the things which I don't agree within the treaty itself. I voted no the first time for that fact. Why I definitely voted no for the second fact was, for the second referendum was due to the fact that the treaty wasn't changed, and also due to the fact that it was just completely undemocratic to put a referendum which had gone before the people and been rejected 12 months ago. So they were probably my main reasons for voting no.
Okay, yeah, fair point there, Tony. Alright, thanks. Now I'm just going to introduce the man on the yes side, Bryan Rabbitte. Could you just tell us a bit about why you voted yes? And
I voted no in the first referendum, to tell you the truth, because I didn't know enough about it. But with the second referendum, there was more literature out there. I did read the treaty as well this time, and I felt that the guarantees were there for that I wanted gone the first time. And basically, Europe's never broken a guarantee before, and I don't think they're going to start now. And I personally believe, for economic reasons, number one, and Ireland being with Europe, it's a good thing. So I voted yes.
I know that's also another good point. Okay, so I guess the first topic of discussion I want to talk about is the voters. And Bryan himself, he says that he voted no the first time, and but to have such a turnaround, to have a 67% win, I mean that couldn't just be people feeling bullied into voting yes. So Tony, what do you think about that? Why do you think they ended up losing by so much this time?
Well, it combined with a lot of reasons. I think the campaign was mishandled in the first place for the first referendum by the yes side. But I think the word being voted is quite a good word. Bryan spoke about his reasons for changing his vote to yes were based majorly on economic reasons and guarantees given out. These are the same guarantees that are given to us by Europe, but they were insisted upon us by our government. The same people who brought us the false fiasco, who tried to cover up the Ryan report, and these are not people that we really trust. However, the campaign they set about on this one was of discrediting the no campaign, discrediting the faces of the no campaign. And the yes campaign, it breached 6 European laws on referendums, and that's a fact for everybody to know, and anyone who's read the treaty should also know their side of European law. I mean, the laws in the posters, everybody saw it. We need Europe to be stronger. They basically went on a campaign of stupefying the Irish voters, and they didn't get the answer they wanted in the first referendum. They went after it again.
Yeah, well, swing it to Bryan.
Well, what Tony brought up there was fair enough, but the economy at the moment is bad. We all understand that. The government, yes, while being mostly responsible for it with the banks and NAMA and all that, let's face it, we need Europe to get us out of it, and we're not going to do it without Europe. And another thing, you brought up the yes campaign making the no campaign look bad. The no campaign outright lied on a lot of their posters. 184 minimum wage. That is absolutely not going to happen. That's lower. We're not going to be like Poland because of Lisbon.
That's a good point. The 198 thing, that I had a hard time.
It wasn't it was 184.
Sorry, 184. Yeah, I've had a hard time believing that one.
That wasn't going to happen. And a lot of their posters were outright lies. The no campaign was scaremongering way more than the yes campaign, even more than Fianna Fáil. But I'm not a Fianna Fáil person. I'm willing to admit Fianna Fáil had nothing to do with me voting yes. Okay. I would have actually liked to go against them, but my own beliefs are that we need Europe, and just on the scare tactics used on both sides, yeah, it's wrong. And a second referendum was not, it was not completely right, but it was definitely not undemocratic. There's nothing saying that we can't have a second referendum, but like the government gave the Irish people a second chance with more literature. They gave them a second chance to vote for something that is really good, basically really good for our economy. Like,
I just want to bring up one thing there. I've completely forgotten what it was. Just about.
I think if I could just come back on a point there to Brian. Brian, your definition of democratic might be challenged on a fact there.
My
Yes, the referendum.
My definition of democratic is Bunrak na hÉireann, and it's nothing in Bunrak na hÉireann saying that we can't have a second referendum.
It's also a good point. I think we might have lost him again. This is magical. But it's just, you know, the whole thing with losing Europe. Like, we're not exactly going to be kicked out of Europe for...
No one... I never believed that from the start.
But like, even if we'd said no, like, I don't think we would have lost Europe.
No, we wouldn't have lost Europe. We wouldn't have been kicked out of Europe. But like, the leaders in Europe were saying they were going to go ahead without us, which wouldn't have been a good thing. And the world would have seen us as a little country that won't, you know, help out with the bigger scheme of things.
No, you know, it's just because, you know, it's the big picture for everyone else, it doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, like, that it's the right thing for us. You know, well, I'm not trying to like just be antagonistic for the sake of it.
The bigger picture, international politics is the right thing for us. Well, if they're looking down on us, say, like, you know, if the Americans or, you know, like the bigger nations are looking down on us saying these guys won't help out, then their multinational companies aren't going to come to us. Even though we're offering them massive tax incentives, we're offering them really good reasons. We're getting fibre optic communications put into Ireland at the moment, and say Microsoft are in Wicklow at the moment, setting up a huge multinational base there for fibre optic cables and basically I don't understand it completely, but they are setting up there a huge €6.3 million plant